Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about low light plants. What plants do best in a low light situation? And living in an apartment, I have a low light situation here. So I'm going to share with you what plants I have that do well. So the first plant I'm going to share with you is the ZZZ plant. You have probably heard quite a bit about it, but it's so popular just because it works in so many different situations. This plant can be in a high light situation to a low light situation and still do well. Now in a lower light situation, it won't necessarily grow as quick like mine isn't growing as quickly as I'd like it to, but it will still do well in a low light situation. And I have it in a plastic pot, so I don't water it as much as if it were in a terracotta pot. So that's something you need to keep in mind. But if you forget to water it for a few days, this plant is very forgiving and it won't hold it against you if you do that. It almost seems like it does better on a little bit of neglect than it would over caring for it. And I think that's how we plant lovers tend to send plants to their demise, because we overlove them a little bit too much with water and fertilizer and such. But this plant seems to do well on just a little bit of neglect. And I have it pretty far away from my windows and it still does well there. I have a north-facing apartment with large windows and a large patio door, but still it's pretty far away from the windows. I'm lucky that I live in Arizona and the sun here is very bright, so what sun does come through the windows is very bright in itself. But this is my first plant that does well in a low light situation. The second plant I have to show you is the Sansieveria trifasciata, and this one I have normally closer to the window, but because right now it's Christmas time and I have my tree up and decorations, I've had to move it back away from the window. But I'm so lucky that it does well in low light situations. Let me show you this bad boy. I have a combination in here of bird's nest and the longer spire ones of the same type with Sansieveria, but different formations, and it just seems to fill out the pot a little bit better, and it's doing well. It's giving off new leaves and doing really well. But this one I have actually on the floor next to my shelf, and it gets some light from the grow lights that I have there and some light from the patio door, but again, not very much, and it's still doing well. This is another one that thrives a little bit better on neglect, I think, than over loving. And I water it right now in the winter time probably about every 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon how the soil feels, and it does really well. I've had it for a couple of years now and it's just, you know, hasn't let me down at all. And I know that I can put it anywhere in my apartment and it will do well. So this is Sansieveria trifasciata, and it does great in a low light situation. Golden Pothos. This is such a versatile plant. You can have it right up by a window with bright light, or all the way back from a window on a wall, which is how I have this particular one. This is a cutting from the mother plant that I have right up at the window, and this one I have hanging on a macrame hanger on the wall that faces my patio door, and it's doing so well. It's giving off new leaves, growing. I'm going to be training this one to grow up on the macrame hanger there. I think that will look beautiful. But this one here, Golden Pothos, does wonderful there. Now, the one thing I will note for you is lesser light. You won't get as much as the golden variation on there that the Golden Pothos has, like my other one has, that's right by a window. But it still has brilliant green foliage, and when you clean them up and shine them up, they just look wonderful. So this is definitely one that I would have on a list for low light situations. Golden pothos. Now the other pothos that have more variations, like the Marble Queen, Enjoy, I would probably not use those as much for low light situations. Only reason is that the variation needs more light, brighter light, to keep that variation. So you'll notice that all of these plants are darker foliage. Those are the ones that are going to be able to do better in a low light situation. If you have a plant that has variation, you want to keep that variation on the foliage, you're going to want to keep it in a brighter light situation. But still, even without that golden color on it, I think this one just looks beautiful. Aglaonema, Chinese Evergreen. This is Chinese Evergreen Maria, which I like because that's actually my first name. And this one, I have moved around the apartment depending upon what types of decorations I have up, what's going on in the apartment, and it does well in every situation. Right now, it's over by my TV stand, and it's doing so well there. It's in this, oh, it's heavy too. It's in this ceramic pot, and I water it right now in the winter time, probably about every 2 to 3 weeks, again depending upon the soil. And this actually does flower. It has flowered for me last summer, and the flowers, I'll see if I can find a picture to put here, but they actually look very much like peace lily flowers, with, you know, the creamy color to them, but they're much smaller scale than a peace lily. Now this one, as you can see, it has much darker foliage. The aglaonemas that have the reds and the lighter variations like we just talked about, you may want to put them in a little bit closer to the window, medium to brighter light, but this one does very well in a low light situation. No issues at all. I probably need to turn it a little bit because you can see this way, and then the back of it is like that. So I probably do need to turn it where I have it, so where it is getting light from my living room window, it will start to turn that way. So that's something you still need to do. Even though they're in low light situations, you still need to rotate your plants so all sides of it get the light that they need, and you don't have a plant that's leaning. But this is Aglaonema Chinese Evergreen Maria. This here is my Miranda prayer plant in the burgundy color. And I didn't take it out of the hanger. I have it hanging in my kitchen counter here because I really did not want to break any of the foliage, any of the little stems on it. And so I left it on here for you to see. But this one is hanging, like I said, on my kitchen counter above it, and it faces my patio door, which is probably about 12 feet away, and it's doing beautifully. Again, I probably need to turn it because all of the leaves are headed that way. So I probably need to turn it, maybe arrange them a little bit more here on the hanger. But they do beautifully in a low light situation. They still, at nighttime, the leaves go up, and during the day they fold down again. It's giving off new leaves. No problems there with growth, and you wouldn't think that a plant like this would do well in a low light situation. I wish I could bring it closer to the window, but I don't. This pot is extremely heavy, and the hanger that I have in my front window, I don't think it would be able to handle it. But I'm so pleased with it, really. It just does wonderful there. So this is one I would definitely recommend for a low light situation. If you're looking for some color, this would do well. And so you can see, has a vibrancy, all unique to itself. Well, there you have it, friends. That is my collection of plants that do well in a low light situation. So if you live in an apartment like I do and have limited access to light, whether you're north facing or have trees covering your windows, there are plants, house plants that you can have in your home in low light situations that can do very well and add beauty to your home. So if you enjoyed this video, friends, please do give it a thumbs up. That really does help me so much, and I am so appreciative of all your likes and comments. It really touches my heart when you guys leave those comments for me and words of encouragement. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Make sure you do, because we have a wonderful plant community here. We always help each other out in identifying plants and giving each other tips on how to care for them best, whether it's houseplants or succulents. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell too, so you're not gonna miss any of my videos. Thanks so much, friends, for joining me today. Have a blessed day.